Thanks for joining us on Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. Stu, Rich and Michael Wood here to take you through a huge day two of the championships at Randwick this weekend. Highlighted by the Queen Elizabeth, of course, but we've got the Oaks in there, we've got the Sydney Cup, the Coolmore Legacy, and a little horse called Winx going around this weekend. Come on, Sydney siders, we need 30,000 out there to see this great mare. She's going to rip up the turf again. It's going to be an exciting day, Mike. But let's just hope Navesh doesn't serve up that Travelator again on the inside. That was disappointing. How do we come back from that day?
Bloodbath for punters on day one of the championship. Such a hard day, wasn't it? And for us, zero returns for us. We're underwater as an analyst team after day one. So hard. Maybe we can claim Fell Swoop. He was pretty good as a roughie third on pace, but such a hard day for us. And hopefully it's not quicksand out wide this week.
Yeah, look, really tough for some of those owners, especially in the Group 1s. I mean, Liramain getting beaten so far for such a tough horse, winning 3 Group 1s. Yeah, how do we come back?
Yeah, so hard for those Group 1 winners. And don't forget the country championships. Galaxy Warrior, look at that replay. He was huge. Hopefully he can come back next year.
All right, well, look, we can get stuck into Winx this weekend first because she's in the Quaddie this weekend. It is the Queen Elizabeth, and let's just say this horse is the Queen of racing here in Australia. Don't worry about the other Queen. She's been there for 65 years. This is the Queen of Sydney racing. She's up to number 17 now. Let's get her home. She's been beating up on this group week in, week out. It looks as though it's a $2.4 million benefit for her, and these owners have got to be the luckiest on the planet, don't they? I mean, it's Hartnell in behind, Exospheric, Happy Clapper, the United States. They're the ones probably running out for second, but 40k out the back for some of those others as well.
There's a few big roughies, aren't there? And unbreakable, unbeatable. There's no factors that can stop this mare. Let's have a look at the factors that will make the difference for second. Group 1, 2,000 metres. No tempo in the race, a soft track, and the bias we're not sure, but the rail's gone out a few metres from the inside and they've been working on the outside, so hopefully they've closed that Travelator, Stu. Maybe near rails, maybe fair. We're playing a fair track on Saturday, so across the 3 key factors for the feature on Saturday. Weight, it's weight for age. Winx gets less weight than some of these horses, which is completely unfair. Across to sprint, the slow tempo means you need to be able to quicken, and Royal Randwick all day, it could be quite sticky, so certain types could be suited.
All right, always pretty scary when Winx is running around for the bookies, but look, hopefully they're shaking again. Some big bets this week. I think 75,000 came in. That took her from $1.10 into $1.08. Another $9,000 today. So look, she's the one the punters want this week, as always. Hartnell, well look, is he back to his best? He's a solid second favourite there at 11. Happy Clapper, the United States, they're right there. But look, it's about getting out there this weekend, get Grandad off the couch, take the kids, let's all get out there this weekend and cheer on this great mare.
There was a full stop after Winx in that mark, and I think that's there for a reason because the race kind of ends. And let's have a look at, this is the Group 1 feature for the autumn. Let's have a look at the 2 Group 1 features for last year, starting with the Queen Elizabeth, the edition of the Queen Elizabeth last year over 2,000 metres. Look, there's 2 horses that raced last year that back up again this year. Winx was obviously favourite on Monday before she was scratched, wasn't he? This is the United States coming to the outside in the black and white now, in the white face, just running on a bit wide on the track, coming past Haraki, and it's somewhat. Happy Clapper in the darker blue than the Godolphin colours, coming to the inside of the rail and surging through late.
Really important here too, coming from the Doncaster again as he did this year. Lucia off and gone though. I know that was a big smile for you in this replay.
Well, yeah, she loved the conditions. She's a real Randwick type, but United States and Happy Clapper, same race, not much between them, points to United States on that occasion.
Well, there's a look at one of the best 2,000 metre races in the country, but how about this one? This is the Cox Plate, not a bad 2,000 metre race either.
Well, we're so blessed to have a big spring 2,000 metre race, which is this one, and obviously an autumn one now with the championships, and well, she's already off and gone. It was a strong tempo. She was wide. Every single horse in Australia would have tied after that tough run. She keeps on going, beating Hartnell by, what, 8 lengths? Unbelievable.
How good's that? That just sends tingles up the spine every time we see that. But look, I mean, you just got to be there to cheer her on. I mean, a lot of, take us through the key factors here, because not always she's had the 3 gold bars, but she's just going so well this prep. She's got her, sure.
Well, it's form that really matters for her, doesn't it? It doesn't really usually matter the key factors, but looking at these key factors, even if we were taking into account, she's simply the best. Well, I guess weight has to be a key factor. She's simply a classier mare than the rest. Looking at the rest, they've really compressed down the bottom because of her class. Across to sprint, maybe the United States can go with her for a few strides from the 6 to the 300 metres. He can quicken on a drying track. And across to Randwick, most of them okay at Randwick, but none better than Winx. She won the Doncaster here last year, obviously.
All right, gold across the page there for Winx. Well, look, a few of the markets out there this week have really been seeing how far she's going to win by. Let's have a look at the overall ratings just to see how, when we do add in the form, how she really stacks up against these. And, well, look at that. I mean, we got her about 6.5 lengths, that is, and there's Hartnell in behind, and no doubt, is that a big fat donut down there?
Anthony Cummings, why not have a swing at 40 grand for 8th? No chance at all, though. I mean, it's all about wings. Let's move straight to the best bet and gets to the second leg of the quaddie. 6.5 length margin. She won't win by that much on Saturday because of the slow tempo. It might take for a while to exert her superiority, but she will win. Winks is the best bet for us. And picking between those horses for second, really difficult for us. So outside of a Winks for a best bet, if you're looking for value, maybe Exospheric, maybe the United States, who can quicken on a drying track, are the horses to put into your multiples. Happy Clapper and Hartnell are both really popular.
All right, Winks to start off the quaddie this weekend in the Queen Elizabeth. Having a look at the second leg, well, look, it's the Sydney Cup, and I mean, these stayers, they're coming from everywhere. We've had a sign already up here in Sydney. We've had Big Duke, well, winning twice up here. We've got Tally coming up from the Mornington Cup. We've had Unus Mirabilis from the same race, also with Adelaide Cup form. Appleby, well, he's got his charges up here. And how about the breeding in this race? I mean, I think we've got 7 from Ireland, 2 from the UK, 2 bred in the USA. And then we've got Tally, who's ridden by Tommy, trained for Johnny. That's pretty Aussie, isn't it?
It sounds pretty Aussie, doesn't it? But he's actually not Aussie. He's bred from an Irish sire out of an American dam. So we really need to invest in our Australian stayers, don't we? That's what it tells us. 3,200 metres. Let's have a look at the way the race sets on Saturday. A Group 1, not too many 2-mile Group 1s. We know a famous one in the spring. This is ours in Sydney in the autumn. Look, the Appleby gallopers apparently might be going forward and setting a strong clip, so fair to strong tempo is the forecast for us. Soft track, we're pretty sure it's going to be in that range, and there's the knee rails to fair forecast for the bias that we think will happen, but keep a really close eye on that. The 3 key factors have to be the 2 miles first and foremost. The soft track too will make it a really testing event, and Royal Randwick again, a sticky track suits certain horses like Lucia Valentino.
Well, DK Weir, he got his first winner in Sydney, can you believe it, a few weeks back, and that was with that horse Big Duke. Then went on to win again. The punters think he's going to do it again. $2.70 there. A sign in behind at $7. Who shot the barman? Well, I mean, this horse here has got to be one of Sydney's favourite horses. Always goes around at a good price in these markets as well. And Penglai Pavilion. How about some of these internationals? He's making his Australian debut for Godolphin at 7 years old. But look, there's the market for the Sydney Cup. Punters think that they're going to be drinking beer early, and it's Darren Weir again. Yeah,
backing beer, drinking beer like they do. I think we'll be starting early. 11:30 start on Saturday. We'll be well on it by this stage. Just have a look at Big Duke Weir's winning galloper last start, only a few days ago now, 2,600 metres in the Chairman's. And look, he got the inside barrier. He's here in the blue and white, just looming, taking over now. But it's really hard to knock this run, isn't it, Stu?
Oh, extremely hard. Love the way he just pushed out. And for me, this is all about this last sort of 125 metres. Really sustained his run.
Yeah, Kinema, Pentathlon out the back doing nothing. They're in the Sydney Cup. Don't worry about them. Only a steady tempo this day, and he really pulls away late. Massive surge. 2 miles, no problem.
All right, yeah, love the way he hits the line here. Let's have a look at the second replay. We're going to take you to the Mornington Cup, which is obviously becoming a really important race. Here's a couple of horses we're looking at. It's Tally and Venga Mask as well.
Yeah, Venga Mask is on pace, sticking on. Tally coming 3 wide with the white cap and the Godolphin colours going past Gold Trail for Appleby, of course, who unfortunately knocked up after this race. Look, Tally had a nice ride, blended into the pack. Looked like he was going to win easily, but that horse in front, Venga Mask, he stuck on really well.
Really sticks on, and Tally hitting the line there. Interesting to see whether we think he's going to stay. That'll come out in the key factors, but it's obviously distance is going to be one of those key factors.
The 2 miles has to be a massive key factor for these gallopers on Saturday, so bring up the key factors now, and it's absolutely impossible to knock Big Duke. The 3,200 metres should be fine, the soft track should be fine. At Randwick, we know he's won there. But as for 2 milers, Penglai Pavilion's got 4,000 metre form in the UK. Wow. He'll absolutely relish it and love it. And Venga Mask absolutely looks like a stayer, even though he hasn't been to the distance yet. Across the soft track, Who Shot the Barman likes it, but maybe he's a risk at Randwick. He's not really a Randwick type.
All right, you mentioned there Appleby has had horrible luck this preparation. As you said, the Gold Trail breaking down. A few injuries there. So let's have a look at the overall ratings here and see if, well, maybe you can have a bit more luck involved. Well, there's Penglai Pavilion, right on 12, but in behind Big Duke, but absolutely no qualms there in the ratings. Just in behind, Tally and Venga Mask. So that Mornington Cup form is really standing up here as well.
Yeah, a bit of a pack behind there, but we've got 4 clear top riders with a bit of confidence from the analyst team here, and this is where you've got to factor in the odds and the ratings and come up with your best bet. So Big Duke, we think, will win. We think he's the best odds, or not the best rating in the race, but he's not going to be our best bet because of his short odds. Penglai Pavilion, he's a bit of an in and out horse, isn't he? He tends to win or knock up, so don't back him each way. He'll either grind them into the Randwick turf and win, or he'll knock up, so just a win for him. And Moroni's galloper, Venga Mask on pace, 2 miles. I'm really excited about him on Saturday if he gets through the soft track.
All right, so a little bit of value there for the Sydney Cup. Look, there's a look at the first 2 legs of the quaddie this weekend, obviously highlighted by Winks there in the first, but stay tuned. We'll be back after the break for legs 3 and 4 on Championships Day 2. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by the raceguide.com.au. We've had a look at the first two legs of the Quaddie at the big day, the Championships Day 2 this weekend. Now it's on to the Coolmore Legacy, another Group 1 for the day. What a card, Mike. Silence Edition, well look, she missed out on running in the Doncaster against It Somewhat and crew. I really thought it would have been great to see her and a couple of these girls chasing in the Doncaster, but that was the girls' edition. The Coolmore, I mean, so many are coming through that race. It really was a blanket finish with Heavens Above getting the cash that day. Some of this form can also go back to the Mire as well. So Coolmore and Mire forms tying in. And there's Fox Play, one of Waller's tried methods, isn't it? 2,000 back to 1,600. She's a little ripper here in this race.
She's an absolute barnstormer, isn't she? She smashes the line every time. She's one of the smallest in the yard, but she's not the smallest in the finish. She really hits the line over the last 200 metres, but not too much tempo for her in this race on Saturday. Group 1, 1,600 metres, only a steady tempo. Not many leaders at all engaged. Soft 5 to soft 7 are the conditions forecast, and near rails to fair we think for bias, but keep an eye on that. Because of the slow tempo, a steady tempo, position in run and sprint are going to be so important. You want a horse that can quicken from the right spot. And Royal Ramick, it might be sticky. You want the right type of horse.
Well, these fillies and mares are getting to know each other very, very well, and it's always so competitive at the top in these Group 1s. Let's have a look at the market, and I mean, what an arrogant lead up here for the favourite Silence Edition. After doing it tough in the Coolmore, went back down to Melbourne, dropped back to 1,200, took out a Group 1 sprint. I mean, here's a horse that's definitely got the X factor. Fox Play, as I said, back in trip. That's really one of his most tested methods, isn't it? $6 there. Heavens Above and Dixie Blossoms. There's that Coolmore form. Dixie Blossoms, interesting ride. I reckon a bit of a warm-up for this. But look, punters at the moment really thinking Silence Edition has what it takes to put back-to-back Group 1s on the board.
Well, she won last. She should have won 2 Group 1s already. Let's have a look at her 2 starts ago before she won the sprint in Melbourne in the main lead-up for this race on Saturday, which is the Group 1 Coolmore over 1,500 metres at Rose Hill. So many horses to look for here. Heavens Above is the one in the yellow with the green. Look, you can really just peeling out, pushing out to the outside now. And she goes on to win the race. Danish Twist in similar yellow colours, back in the pack on the inside. She comes through to challenge. They both just get past a really unlucky Silence Edition. What do you say about this horse, Stu? 3 wide, no cover. It still looks like she's going to win.
Yeah, it looks so tough on pace. Gotta love her, just so well set up for this race. And well, what a finish.
Yeah, what a finish. She's never on a bad race, Silence Edition. She was so good next start. Forgive Dixie Blossoms in that race. She was 4 wide, no cover.
I've heard you say that a few times. Let's have a look at Dixie Blossoms. Well, we're going back to Randwick, over the mile. This is what she can do, and this is coming from the back this day.
Well, she's had 2 runs at Royal Randwick over 1,400 metres and 1,600 metres, and both of them have been enormous. This is the only time she's been to the Randwick Mile. And horses just don't do this. She's in the pink with the white cap slicing through from the back.
She comes, yeah.
It was only a steady tempo this day. Despite that, she came from the back and went straight past them. Way too good.
Oh, watch her go. Smashing the line as she does at Randwick. Are we going to see that again Saturday?
Well, yeah, she's a really good horse. Obviously, I love her. Maybe.
All right, well, let's have a look at the key factors here. We're looking for the gold, Mike. Obviously, Randwick, Dixie ticks a lot of boxes there.
Well, straight from the top, yeah, Dixie Blossoms, you mentioned Randwick, but straight from the top, Silence Edition, impossible to knock. Position in run, she goes forward, she can sprint okay, and Randwick should be okay for her. The big thing here is that 2 of the favourites go forward in Silence Edition and Dixie Blossoms. There should be Dixie Blossoms with the gold bar there for position in run. Across to sprint, Dixie Blossoms can quicken through Randwick's soft track, and she loves Randwick like we said.
All right, you keep saying you're being a bit impartial there with Dixie Blossoms, but more gold for your favourite mare there. Let's have a look at the overall ratings as we do factor in the form here, and well, we can see Silence Edition on top, but there's Dixie not too far away. And look, there's a couple of horses in behind, but Silence Edition just on top of Dixie here. Going to be a great race.
Yeah, big race, evenly matched race, but really simple analysis from our side and the way that we're looking at this race. Silence Edition has the best form ratings for us, so that's why she's a top rater. And Dixie Blossoms has got the best factors rated. She'll love the 1,600 metres at Randwick, so back both of them, one for the best bet, one for the value bet. They're both great mares. They could even run the Quinella.
All right, a favourite there, and Dixie at Randwick. That's a look at leg 3 of the Quaddie this weekend. Let's wrap it up. It's the Sapphire Stakes, a bit of a lotto for mares, and I mean, by this time last week, geez, a few of the punters were reeling. Let's hope it's a fair track this weekend. But as we look at this race, I mean, I saw Tycoon Tara. I thought, hang on, hasn't she gone to the breeding barn not once but twice? She's back. And how about the Snowdens? I mean, they're pulling out the big guns here. They've got Shin, McAvoy, Bowman Engage, Ravi there, Artistry, so they're really holding the key to this race.
It's such a good stable. I mean, hopefully we know the track pattern by this stage of the day. Group 2, 1,200 metres, a fair tempo in this race. Hopefully the soft track we forecast. And there's the near rails to fair bias we talked about before. Across to the 3 key factors for this race. Look, it's a set weights event. So the classier types are suited. Weight's a key factor for us. Position and run, it's a big field and some of the favourites are drawn wide. And Royal Randwick again, those sticky conditions, especially late in the day.
All right, the last leg of the Quaddie, as we said, and as we have a look at the market, it is Team Snowden really holding the key here. Ravi with that good trial, $4.20. Tycoon Tara, not in the breeding barn, as we said, $7 there. Artistry, the other one for Snowden, $8. So he's got the top three in the market. Den Magic, another good trialer, and then out to Secret Agenda and the rest. But look, the money came for Russian Revolution last week as a big Snowden plunge. Let's see what happens this week.
Well, hopefully the faithful will get repaid, won't they? We tipped her, everyone tipped him, and he came from $6 to $3. He did absolutely nothing, didn't he? Let's have a look at a couple of left field replays for the last race on Key Factors tonight, starting with a barrier trial. Tempt Me Not out in the lead, goes on to run pretty poorly first up, but she wins this trial. Ravi's the one out widest in light blue, and Tycoon Tara inside her in the dark blue.
Yeah, here's Ravi really starting to finish it off down the outside here. Tycoon Tara, take us through this. Well, where do we see this horse?
Absolutely plain trial, isn't it? And we've got to say, Snowden trials are so hard to pick, like the Anthony Cummings trials. That trial was just as good as it was last prep when she won first up, so don't dismiss her despite the fact they look plain.
All right, not often we look at a trial, and we're going from a trial to a race in Queensland here where we've got a couple of other runners engaged.
Well, this is a bit of a left field replay as well, isn't it? This is just to show Ocean Ember's right-handed, the only time she's been right-handed, and you kind of look at the run and you think, let's put a line through her in Sydney. She doesn't handle the Sydney way of going, but she's here, third from the outside in the purple and green, getting absolutely no luck. It's Global Glamour on her inside, getting no luck in the light green, and Zestful in the gold on the inside. No luck for her either.
Global Glamour just chopped out there. You don't know where to look here. But the three we're focusing on, they've had no luck.
Absolutely no luck, the three. They all came on to win next start, which is big form lines, and maybe Ocean Embers was just as good as Global Glamour to the line, which is pretty strong form.
All right, some interesting replays there, but look, we've got to wrap it up. This is the Quaddie show. Take us through the key factors. We're looking for the gold here in the last leg of the Quaddie.
Well, straight away, Ravi's such a great mare. She won so well at the end of her last preparation, and she's got loads of upside, but she doesn't get much weight relief in a set weights event, and she's drawn so wide for a favourite. It's so surprising she's held her place in the market. Tycoon Tara and Artistry, they're the class mares in the race. Maybe a small setback for Artistry coming back to Randwick.
Well, look, very thin on the gold there. That's Tycoon Tara, the only one with 2 gold bars. Let's have a look at the overall ratings as we bring those up. And, well, it is that mare, Tycoon Tara, on top, and quite clearly as well. Artistry and Ocean Embers in behind, but, wow, Tycoon Tara.
Well, you expect a really closely matched 1200 metre mares race, so we're surprised we found a margin as well. But if she repeats the form she did from last preparation, she's simply a classy 1200 metre mare, and ignore those trials, like we said. So Tycoon Tara each way all day. She's a great bet. She's so strong on pace, and she will stick on. So Tycoon Tara is the best bet for us. And picking out of the rest is a bit of a lottery. We've got a leader in Tycoon Tara. Ocean Embers storming down out wide. Maybe she's a super for us.
All right, Tycoon Tara in the last leg of the Quaddie there. Look, as we do on this show, we've got to wrap this up. We know it's going to be a massive day out there at Randwick this weekend. We've got Winks. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be going one out there. Is it a case of burning the cash early in this Quaddie, or are we just going to back her one out?
I think we're going to back her one out. So let's have a look and see what we've done. $1.08. You know, who are we to say she's not going to win? It'll take a pretty brave man or woman to go against. Randwick race 7 at Winks is the tip, obviously. Randwick race 8, the Sydney Cup. There's the Mornington Cup form, along with Big Duke. And Pengalai Pavilion, we think he's going to be a bit of a plunge on Saturday. A few people tipping him recently. Across to race 9, we like Silent Tradition. She's got the best form. Dixie Blossom's got the best factors. And Danish Twist is the cover bet for us. Tycoon Tara, Artistry, and a swooper Ocean Embers in the last, 278%.
All right, well, look, inside rail, outside rail, who really knows what's going to be thrown up at Randwick this weekend, Mike? But just chatting before, seems like you got a bit of confidence this weekend from the team.
Yeah, type's going to make a big difference on the sticky Randwick track on Saturday, so we could have the edge.
Yeah, race profiling is going to make all the difference there on the raceguide.com.au. Remember, we've got the Twitter pages, the Facebook handle, but it's all at the raceguide.com.au. All the feature race guides online Friday, 9 a.m, and updated again on Saturday. Look, it's going to be a huge day out there on Saturday at the races for the championships. But that's all from us. Hope you jag a bit of that Quaddie. A good percentage as well.
Cheers. Enjoy day 2.
Thanks, guys.